Hello everyone from Chelsea Fan TV. My name is Alex and we're outside Stamford Bridge. You're about to watch the fan cams, but before you do, a little shout out to the sponsor for this video, Match Bingo. If you haven't heard of Match Bingo, it's very, very simple. It's bingo, except without playing numbers, you play with in-game stats, things that happen in a match, goals, corners, things like that. If those things happen and you have those on your bingo cards, you scratch them out. The more lines you win, the more money you make, okay? 35% of the money they make goes to the Stroke Association, so you are helping a good cause. And to be honest with you guys, a lot of people don't want the hassle. They just want to have a bit of fun. So download the link in the description, guys. Download Match Bingo. Let us know how you get on. If you DM the channel, we'll give you a shout out, because it's always nice to see a few success stories, if there are any, and let me know how you get on. Click the link below. Enjoy the video.
Is the most loyal supporter out there.
Hello everyone from Chelsea Fan TV. My name is Alex and I am standing outside Stamford Bridge with Nina after a 2-2 draw, which feels like a loss, against Burnley.
Yeah, basically it is a loss. 19th place Burnley, 10 men, managerless on the sidelines. Doesn't get any easier than that, and you still can't pick up 3 points at home. They didn't even sell out the away end, and they still won.
And they made more noise than us.
Basically, well, that's a win, isn't it? Burnley, a point for Burnley away from home is great at the minute, especially 10 men. So, yeah, look, it's a struggle, right? You know, you look at it, you look at the context. Wolves and Brighton both have difficult games this weekend. We've got Burnley at home. This is our chance. I know we have 2 games in hand, but equally, these are the games that we should be winning, right? We are at the moment trying to compete, to qualify for some sort of European football. Is this the way to do it? Because, yes, we know we've not been competitive in the Premier League, but we still have some sort of targets, right, for the season, and we just look so far off.
What's the furthest thing in terms of what you've just said? So what's the basic things that we just need to go? I mean, what would your number one thing be?
Win a game. Win Premier League games.
How do we do that, though? Because we're obviously struggling.
Yeah, we are obviously struggling, and you look at our next... You know, we've got 3 more Premier League games before our FA Cup clash with Manchester City. We've got Man United at home, we've got Sheffield United and Everton. I don't see those as easy games where we take 3 points, and that's bizarre. But, you know, if we are struggling against relegation-threatened Burnley tonight, why on earth would I think that those games would be easy? And, you know, we've seen that we've struggled in the past against these teams. You know, we're not like Arsenal where we can win 4-5-0 and just it be that easy and walk away with the points. So, you know, we say it's as simple as that, but the fact is that, yes, we might have been scoring more goals than we've been scoring last season, but we are conceding a lot more as well. You know, our goal difference is still 2, which is worrying. We've conceded 2 goals in 5 games now. Do you know that? In the last 5 games, we've conceded 2 goals in each one. That's just not good enough. And, you know, you can't possibly go 1-0 up at home, you know, a penalty, great, and then concede so quickly in the second half. We always talk about this, that whatever happens at half time somehow pushes us out into the second half looking, you know, less strong, and things, you know, just go wrong naturally. They equalise, and again, Burnley did not even sit back on us with 10 men. They were still threatening us. We brought on 2 attacking outlets in the name of Madueke and Sterling, and still they had opportunities, and still we just couldn't put the game to bed.
I'm running out of questions, you know, because I've been asking the same questions for almost 2 years. And
the answers are the same.
The answers are the same in a lot of respect. I suppose that there is some new things as well, some hopefully positive things. You know, Mudryk, I thought he had an okay game today. Did you think that was the right decision to start him ahead of Sterling, and how do you think he played?
I mean, he deserved it, like, based off recent performances and goal involvements and stuff, but the thing with Mudryk is I still think he's quite hot and cold. I think, you know, his game and, like, sometimes, you know, he takes on his man and he does something really good technically and you think, great, but then that final decision maybe is incorrect, you know, or if he gets a shot, it's either, like, you know, 5 feet above the bar or at the keeper, and I just think that's still lacking a little bit. Not to say he's not great, but then that just reinforces that he is still young and he's learning. He's not the end product and he's not a complete player, and I think you can see that, you know, especially in the first half, the link-up play on the right-hand side was a lot better than it was on the left-hand side. I just think that Cucurella and Mudryk at times couldn't communicate well. Cucurella tried to overlap, but Mudryk wouldn't see that, or, you know, vice versa, whereas on the right in the first half it was very snappy. Gusto to Palmer, Jackson picking it up, then trying to cut in, finding someone there in the middle, and it looked better. So there were good moments of play. We could have scored so much more, but again, Alex, you say you ask the same questions, but it's the same answer. Every single time it's like, we should have scored more, we should have finished those chances, we should have, and it's just as simple as that. We should have, but we didn't.
But what is better than last season is we are scoring goals and we are creating chances, which last year we wouldn't have said.
I suppose,
the problem now is we just can't keep a clean sheet. We can't even... We conceded 2 goals in the last 5 games, right? Is that what you said? That is a horrific stat. That's a relegation stat. I think Father said our relegation form is the 7th. Sorry, not relegation. The amount of goals we are in terms of conceding goals. We're 17th in the Premier League, which is relegation standard.
Yeah, that's actually insane. And I don't really know what Pochettino was saying about we should be top forward stats, but I saw something that we are still on the road to having the worst defensive display in like years and years if we continue to concede the way we are. And it's true, so we are scoring more goals, but you can still see that those things are lacking, and you can't afford it. When you score goals, you've got to be able to manage a game towards the end. You've got to be able to demand your ground. We're at home, we're the ones that are supposed to be walking away with the point. We've got a man advantage, we've got the home advantage, and yet that doesn't seem to matter in a game that it really should. So you do worry about these things. And then you think Manchester United next. We were absolutely embarrassed by them away at Old Trafford, and they were arguably, that was the best time to play them as well. So what now, really? They're obviously fighting for their own targets this season, and we just seem to struggle, right? Last season at home against Man United was the same, and I just can't really take much optimism when I look at games like that. And frankly, it's also because you never know what Chelsea turns up on the day, right?
Do you think it will get worse before it gets better?
Yeah, as it has been in the last 18 months now and plus. And I just think that it's so easy to have this season in the write-off, right? Because FA Cup, we look so close yet so far away, because you got Manchester City to beat, right, in a semi-final again at Wembley. Not an easy job. And then if we do somehow make it to a final, that's a whole nother thing in its own. And if we don't qualify for Europe, then really what do you get out of the season? Nothing at all, absolutely nothing. And then we're back to square one. But I worry about us, because if we can't compete in the Premier League at all, we can't compete against Championship opposition. And I'm not talking Burnley. We've struggled against Preston this season. We've struggled against Middlesbrough. We've struggled
Plymouth.
Against... There we go. And it's just, it's unacceptable. But I don't know, really. I do worry. It seems it's doable. On paper, it's absolutely doable. But football's not played on paper. Chelsea, you have to come and win these games. You have to demand. You have to be. Well, how are you possibly letting Burnley still have opportunities to attack? I thought they'd sit back on us. For them, this is a good result. Take away a point, marvelous. But no, they were still going for it, because why? Because they saw that we were easily exploited at the back, and they saw a chance to be able to do that.
Yeah, the back line as well. I would love to know, and anyone in the comments, please let me know this, guys. How many times have Gusto, Disasi, Badiashile and Cucurella played together this season? I would love to know that stat.
Yeah.
And if they did play together, who was in goal? I'm really interested to know that. So let me know in the comments, guys, because I can't remember the last time they all played together, which doesn't make it easy,
I agree. I get that. Look, I do get that. But at the same time, we are training more. We don't have European fixtures. We're not battling as much as we are with other things. So, as much as I love to bring in context, and I myself have used that excuse that, we barely have had full backs on the pitch at the same time this season, really. We've only had a handful of games like that. There's constantly changes and switches in the back line, and that's also injuries. But that's just another excuse we can't really use, because, again, we've got more time to train. We've got more time to recover from game to game. And, again, you think French speaking as well, that might help and all of that stuff, and they've been able to learn from someone like Thiago Silva. The job should really be becoming a little bit easier, and someone like Malo Gusto, I won't criticise. He's been exceptional, don't get it wrong. He has been absolutely brilliant, and he's still so young, still so much to do. He's been so heavily involved in goal contribution, and I think it's such a strength that he can be as good as he is defensively, offensively as well, because he is there. He's also involved, and he looks quite comfortable playing with Jackson and Cole Palmer, so that will grow. But then I worry about players like Badiashile, who has now had a bit more time. I know he has had an injury as well, not really had that much time to play, but yeah, these are the players we have. These are the players that we are moulding for the future as well. Let's not forget they're here for 5, 6, 7, 8 years, so they must come good at some point.
Why do you think Poch isn't playing Silva at the moment?
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, he's not injured anymore, is he? Because he's making the bench, so there is obviously a decision being made there. And I don't know, maybe it's because he knows that Thiago Silva perhaps is going shortly. You know, he's probably going to be gone, and this is what is going to be left behind after him. These are the players that, you know, we're going to have. So I think perhaps he might want to just push those partnerships because they are what we'll have for next season. But I don't know, there could also be something else. You know, there could also be the fact that maybe, I don't know, he's trying to prove a point with Thiago Silva. I don't really know.
I don't think he's trying to prove a point. I
No.
think that I think that when people talk about Silva and Pochettino having a strained relationship, I personally don't think that would be the case.
No. And why would
I
he?
think
He's
that
been so good.
in terms of Silva, he's an ultimate professional,
Yeah,
right? So
yeah.
he's not the kind of guy who's trying to ruffle the manager's
Yeah,
feather.
100%.
He's going to go in there, try and get the best out of the situation.
Yeah.
But he's almost 40, Nina. He's almost 40.
I know.
You know, there comes a point in everyone's
have to
career
survive.
where it is what it is. And I personally think that the best centre-back pairing, if we had them available, probably be Colwell and Fofana, or maybe Disasi.
But then again, like Fofana has not seen the light of day on the pitch, and it's insane because he wasn't cheap either. Was he 70 or 80 million?
80, yeah.
80 million for a player that you've not even seen play. And, you know, we know that he's a good player based off just what we've seen at his former club, but we haven't seen him really at Chelsea, so that's also a hard call to make. But, you know, I suppose there is a good future for these players in terms of, you know, we do have players that we can turn to, but again, it's worrying because they don't play and they haven't played, and you do worry what their return at Chelsea will be like. Same goes for someone like Romeo Lavia, same goes for someone like Nkunku, because I know he's had more games still, but, you know, he himself hasn't had the first, you know, start to Chelsea that he would have liked to have.
What's your stance on Poch?
What's my stance on Poch? I mean, you know, tonight, like, what happened? Like, what did you say to the players at half-time, and why is it that we couldn't come off and kill the game? And these are, like, things that do make me worry that they are coming from the manager, right? He's supposed to be the one. You're the only manager on the sideline, frankly. You know, you should be the louder one. You should be able to make your players kill the game off and it be done. So I do worry about it tactically as well. I think I like the fact that he brought Gallagher off, because I don't think that was the, you know, he should have stayed on. So fair enough, because that's his star boy, isn't it? And he saw that, you know, we must bring on some more attacking players, but in the long run, you know, if we don't qualify for European spots and we have absolutely nothing to take and FA Cup falls through, then I don't think I trust him anymore.